This is an introductory video to a series that I will be posting in the next few days. A series consisting of 8 videos. These 8 videos form my current turn, for want of a better word, in a debate that I'm engaged in. A debate with a user named moistheman. His previous 2 videos were an attempt to convince me of the existence of his God. His videos are titled "The Existence of Allah is a Logical Necessity." Very interesting this. Note, he's not only claiming to be able to prove that God exists, no, very specifically, his God, Allah, as opposed to other possible gods. My role in this debate is very simple. I do not believe his claim. I remain to be convinced. Now that makes the debate interesting, but very unfair. And the reason why I'm posting this introduction is because I want people watching this series to be aware of this background. Be aware of what's going on. Because when I told Mo on the second video that I would be posting these 8 videos in response to his, he asked me to warn my subscribers of this. And he asked me to ask my subscribers to watch his videos first. So it is clear that he wants to conduct this debate in the presence of an audience, which is good. I like that. So I agreed, and I did post the announcement. You'll probably have seen it. But because there's going to be an audience to this debate, I need everybody in the audience to be aware of the positions that Mo and I will be taking in this debate, because our positions are going to be very different. His position is of the person making an extraordinary claim. My position is the position of a skeptic who does not accept the claim. And in that context, you need to understand what my position and his position is going to be. His position is one of certainty. And if one is arguing from a position of certainty, one has to be able to provide a proof. Sufficiently strong evidence that anybody listening to the arguments should be convinced of its veracity. My position is that of a skeptic, which means that I remain to be convinced. And this is very important. You need to understand that in this debate, I am not the person making claims. And as a result, I am not the person who needs to prove anything. Also, you cannot make assumptions about what I do believe in, even though you might know, in the context of this debate, you cannot make assumptions. So don't ask me, for example, to prove that his God cannot exist. I do not need to do that. I need to be convinced by his arguments. And what I do need to do is tell him why I'm not convinced. But in the process of telling him that I'm not convinced, I can do things that he cannot do. And that is terribly unfair. I can, for example, wildly hypothesize in my responses. And he cannot then pull me up on those hypotheses and ask me to prove them. Because I am not making the claim that these hypotheses are true. I'm just raising them as conceivable alternatives to what he's saying. And if such alternatives are conceivable, and he wants to maintain his position of certainty, every time I raise an hypothesis like that, he has to go through the rigors of proving that it cannot possibly be true. That is very unfair. I can wildly speculate, and every time I do, he has to prove that it cannot be so. But he agreed to this debate, and in all fairness to the man, he has so far been rather good. But because now there is an audience to this debate, I want you all to be aware of that. So nobody can jump in and say, oh, you can't prove that this is so, when I hypothesize. That's not going to wash, my folks. Okay? So this is the introduction. With regard to the videos, it's going to be 8 videos. But rest assured, they're not going to be epic videos. They're not going to be long 10-minute ordeals. Some of them can be quite short. I would appreciate it if people would not post responses until all 8 videos are up. The structure of the videos is as follows. The first 2 videos are just minor quibbles I have with things he said. They're not really that important in the context of why I'm rejecting his statements. The next 3 videos are important. They are basically the reason why I have to reject his statement. However, they sort of end where his first video ended. By then I will have rejected premises that he then uses in his third video or in his second video, which makes it unnecessary for me really to address that second video. However, I will have done with the courtesy to do so anyway. But those last 3 videos are not an important part of what I have to say. They're just for completeness sake and out of courtesy to Mo, and that is why I'm posting those. Just so you have a bit of a heads up, so you know what you're getting yourself in for when I start posting these videos. Thank you very much, and onwards to video number 1.